Hey guys, thanks for watching. Today we're going to learn how to sharpen steel chainsaws with different tools. Hope you enjoy.
Alright, today we're going to sharpen steel chainsaws, but first I want to show you some of the steel saws and tools we have that we use ourselves. This is what I call a brush whacker, made by Steel. He has these plastic blades that come out and cut the brush, and that it really works nice and it don't mess your weed eater. This is a steel weed eater, and then this is another steel brush blade that you can attach to it. Today we're going to sharpen the chainsaws though, and the proper way to do it so that you have the proper angle and the sharpness on them. Alright, the other day I was looking on YouTube, and there's a guy on there saying that something like 1 in 50,000 people could not sharpen a chainsaw properly. Well, to that comment I say, a lot of people can baffle you with their education and smarts, but they can also buffalo you with their bullshit. I do not like these. You have to keep changing them out. You put them on, slide, then you have to turn it around. And my preference is a file, and then I do use power tools when I'm not out in the field. The thing you do need to do first is these knocking bars right here. Every time you sharpen them, you should take them down 4 to 6 strokes. And you go and do them very first all the way through and do the same amount of strokes, same pressure. If you don't do that, all you're doing is riding on this when the blade should be cutting, and it doesn't cut. Now when we're doing that, you can stay on one side and just keep doing all of them until you've gone around once. Then, when we get ready to sharpen the chain, like we are now, I usually take a can of spray paint, or I'll take and knock the film off so I know where I started. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look on the blade, right there's a little mark, and all you have to do is stay in the same line as that, and you keep your blade on the right angle to keep it sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Now, after we'd went all the way around, you take the chainsaw and turn it around, or if you can get on the back of it. I like to put mine in a vise so it's good and solid. I've even made a vise holder that goes in the receiving hitch of my pickup truck, so I can put it on there. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. And as you're going, all you have to do is watch that line and see right where you're going and keep it. And if you notice, I turn my handle so it keeps the file cutting and kind of cleans the file as you're going also. Still also makes a portable grinder that you just hook onto the battery terminals of your pickup truck or even your four-wheeler. and you just turn it on, and then you watch that same angle and just grind through and grind through the same way with it. But as you do that, you still need to take these down with a hand file. And for most all of the sharpening I do, I use the steel brand, and it's at that size. And if you see, they've 3 of them in there, and you just change it out. But what I use is the DeWalt Rotozip, basically, with the blade in there. And I'll turn it on like this. I really prefer the Rotozip though, because I've got better control with it with my hands. And let me show you one thing. If you look right here, this blade and this blade, how much more worn down this one is than this one. As I'm sharpening, you take and you keep the contour so everything's about touching, or work it down so it is all flush. Because a lot of times there'll be nails in trees, or you'll have some of the little rock or something when you're cutting on the ground. Same process, only it doesn't work quite as fast. And it doesn't burn the steel. You see, I can round the edges or straighten the edges out if it rounds a little bit. But I do have better control. Now with all of these tools, we get them from our local Ace Hardware store. They are a distributor for steel and for DeWalt and Rotozip. And that's where we also get all the parts for our sharpening and the filing. See, sometimes the end will be rounded, and we just square and clean that up. If you have noticed, I took one of my old vices and I got me a big pine log and I anchored it in with lag bolts, and so it's good and solid. I can't wiggle it around very easy, and I can use this for about any kind of work I need. Now with this kind of saw right here, these blades are the knocking blades that clean the trench out, but they still need to be sharp. So you come back on them, and if you look at these, they're like shark's teeth. One side sharp, and then the other, so they're make a cutting edge. So what you do is just take your file and just follow those edges the way the angle is. And if you noticed, I've got handles on one of them. These saws I use sometimes when I take my backpack up to make me a bivouac up on the mountain before the hunt. So I can take this saw and cut me some logs and a frame to put me a tent frame over, or just make me a wickie up or shelter. And the good thing about this is I don't have to pack fuel. And a lot of times there are people out there that don't like hearing the chainsaw running up in the mountains, and they complain and turn you in for doing something wrong. And I hope you've learned something today. Support our local dealers of the steel and our other brands. And remember, live our outdoors, live our old values, live free. And that's our old school theme. Thank you.